back in 1992 when we sent a fax to Lee Kun-hee, chairman of Samsung, inviting him to nominate a favorite book. His reply came back quickly. I try to read the future, company, nation, mankind, through books on technology and management. Recently, Alvin Toffler's Power Shift was most helpful to me in this area. It gives good guidance in preparing for the future. Lee's statement crystallizes the relationship between managers and the future. People with general interest may have the luxury of wondering what the future might bring. But for managers, the future can never be too abstract or too far away. It is an event to plan for, to be part of, to create. They have not lacked resources to draw on. In the past 15 years, well-researched books have been published that outline important trends, those from Toffler, John Naisbitt, and George Gilder among the most popular. But with so many different possible futures being offered for consideration, how can a manager write the right bridge to tomorrow? To help him do that, futurists devised several techniques. One is scenario planning, originally developed within Royal Dutch Shell. Scenarios are stories about the future. You try to write several stories, then find your appropriate strategies for each one, so that you're prepared for different scenarios. Scenario planning is about making choices today with an understanding of how they might turn out, explains Peter Schwartz. In his book The Art of the Long View, scenario planning helped Shell negate the effects of two oil shocks of the 70s. You might also try tracking paradigm shifts, changes in the fundamental rules of business. Those happen when current technologies bumps into problems it cannot solve. The first videotape recorders cost $250,000 and weighed more than 100 pounds. They could not be used for entertainment or education. The Japanese then took this idea and invented the video cassette recorder. To predict when the next paradigm shift will occur in your industry, Joel Arthur Barker, author of the book Paradigms, says, you must ask yourself, what are the problems that all my peers are trying to solve, and don't have the slightest idea of how to do it? Techniques like these underline the need for non-linear thinking. When managers manage the consequences of events that have already happened, the organizations are doomed always to be lagging behind the needs of their businesses, wrote Stanley M. Davis in his Future Perfect. Davis says the history of the industrial economy is strewn with companies that once bright new lights have since faded into obscurity because the leaders were forever managing aftermath. The way out of this dead end is in finding new models for managing in the new economy. In the preceding pages, you have caught glimpses of where some of these new models may come from. But predicting what they will be is not easy, perhaps not even possible. These models will demand new ways of thinking, new skills. Acquiring those is possible and necessary. To summarize the recurrent theme of this feature, change, no matter how discontinuous, need not be disastrous, but it can be to those without the requisite management skills.